I give you the Democratic leader of the House of Representatives, my member of Congress, Nancy Pelosi.
You're simply the best. Better than all the rest. Better than anyone. Anyone I ever met. Ooh, I'm stuck on your heart.
Good morning, California Democrats. Thank you, John Burton, Chairman John Burton, for your very generous introduction, for your leadership and service to California, from the Bay Area to Congress, from the state capitol to the state party. Chairman Burton has remained a practical idealist, a person to get the job done, as he would say, a strong voice for justice for all. Thank you, John Burton, for your tremendous. Where'd he go? I'm here. More to say about John in a moment. Thanks to all of the elected leadership of the California Democratic Party for their making last election one of the most successful elections in California history, sweeping the statewide races, not losing any House Democrats, increasing our numbers in the legislature. So I thank all of the leadership for that, and I thank all of you, the activists and volunteers of the California Democratic Party, for your passion, for your advocacy, for your leadership to advance Democratic causes here and nationwide. I want to make a special tribute to the new delegates are here. Our first-timers are here. Now let's pay tribute and welcome them. It's an honor to be here with each and every one of you, and it is my pleasure to be here today with three colleagues. Congressman John Filler, the ex-mayor of San Diego, you heard. He was a freedom rider, a committed representative of our host city of San Diego, California's border congressman, and an unflinching defender of our nation's veterans, men and women in uniform, as he has served as the chair of the Veterans Committee in the House of Representatives. Last night, we were all with Congresswoman Susan Davis at the Women's Caucus, and let's recognize her great leadership in the Congress of the United States. And on this program this morning, Congresswoman Barbara Lee, a progressive champion fighting every day to end poverty, invest in jobs in California and across the country. I'm proud also to share the stage today with three outstanding statewide leaders, Governor Jerry Brown. I was state party chair, some of you all, we worked together way back when, and so we know firsthand his long record of leadership and public service. Speaker of the Assembly, John Perez, isn't he wonderful? Aren't we proud of him? And State Controller John Chung, it's an honor to be with all of you. I just want to speak to you personally for a moment, because it is a personal as well as a political privilege to be with you today. For years before I went to Congress, I served as Northern Chair or State Chair of the California Democratic Party. This has been, the California Democratic Party has been my political home since 1976. My children grew up volunteering here, and I'm proud that Christine continues our family connection, serving in many leadership roles currently as chair of the Women's Caucus. I'm very proud of Christine. I value the personal and political relationships with all of you that have enriched my life. My road to the Speaker's office ran right through our state party. Thank you for what you have done and still do for our communities, for California, and for our country. Thank you, John, for acknowledging that this is my 25th anniversary of representing the great city of San Francisco in the Congress of the United States. I have been proud in that capacity to be part of the great California delegation. California Democrats have always stood up at the forefront of national leaders. We've led the way on innovation. We advance America's entrepreneurial spirit. We believe in progressive action and prosperity for all, to protect our environment, equal rights. John named some of the accomplishments that we were able to achieve working together with the California delegation to Congress being in the lead. I started my role in Congress proud of our HIV. I'm proud of the HIV work we started 25 years there, and much of it culminating in the passage of the historic the Affordable Care Act, which we're all very proud of. Where no longer being a woman will be a pre-existing medical condition, just to name that. I thank you, John, for naming some of the accomplishments of the Congress. I accept your kind words on behalf of our great and courageous California Democratic delegation, as well as our entire Democratic caucus in the House of Representatives. Because we are all dedicated to the core values of our country: fairness, opportunity, and equality for every American. They're the core values of our nation. They are the core values of our party. Over the next 9 months, these values will be front and center in campaigns throughout California and the United States. How many times have you heard this? This is the most important election of our generation. They just kept getting more important because the other side keeps getting more outrageous. And in this election, California is set to play a starring role. The theme of this convention, Battleground California, says it all, because the road back to the House majority runs through California. Our state represents key opportunities to pick up seats and send more Democrats to Congress. For a moment, let me just say that starting in the north with Ami Bera, whom we are sure will come to Congress, in the Central Valley, Jose Hernandez, the first Hispanic astronaut, Mark Toscano coming as a young person of color, first openly gay member from California. And the list goes on, but the three of them have resolved who will be the Democrat in the November election. But we think that we have many more opportunities, and after this weekend and as we go forward, we'll be making some more announcements. Simply put, to win back the House, to succeed in our drive for 25, that's all we need to take back the House for the American people, 25 seats. We once again need your energy, organizing, enthusiasm, and leadership. California Democrats will once again lead the way. Our state will prove critical to electing a Congress to work with our president instead of a Congress obstructing his every move. As our President Barack Obama has said, we believe in an economy where everyone gets a fair shot, everyone does their fair share, and everyone plays by the same set of rules. Across our country, Democrats are committed to reigniting the American dream, rebuilding the pillars of America that have historically made our economy strong: small businesses, entrepreneurship, and all-inclusive and thriving middle class. We are prepared to build ladders of opportunity and tear down barriers for all who want to work hard, play by the rules, and take responsibility so that everyone can succeed. We know that when we reach the top of the ladder, we must keep the ladder in place so others can climb up and all Americans can thrive. The Republicans want to pull the ladder up once they get to the top. We're for putting more ladders out there. And right now, the fight we have in the Congress is to extend the payroll tax cut for the rest of the year for 160 million Americans. The Republicans say we have to pay for it. They never wanted to pay for a tax cut for the wealthiest people in our country. But if they want to pay for it, we can pay for it with a surcharge on the wealthiest people in our country. But we are not going to grant with one hand a tax cut and take with the other by having pay-fors that hurt the middle class. That is our fight. We are there to extend unemployment benefits for millions of Americans who have lost their jobs through no fault of their own. Again, the Republicans say it should be paid for. Historically, it has not. But a good place to go is that surcharge again. And we want to ensure that tens of millions of seniors can see their doctors under Medicare. Those are the three pillars of the current bill. Moving forward, it means standing strong with President Obama to create jobs. His American Jobs Act has a great blueprint for this. Strengthen our middle class, grow our economy, and secure a future of prosperity for all Americans. That begins with the ABCs that we are advocating in the House as the House Democrats. A, American made. Make it in America. Because when we make it in America, the American people can make it for their families. That doesn't mean we want to be protectionist. We just want to be self-reliant to stop the erosion of our manufacturing, technological, and industrial base. B, build America's infrastructure. Building that infrastructure means creating jobs that cannot be sent overseas. And C, community recovery. Our teachers, our police officers, our first responders, our firefighters, they're all part of this economic recovery. Democrats are ready to fight for jobs in our middle class, but Republicans believe in a different agenda. And you have to give them credit. They act upon their beliefs, and they do not believe in a government role in clean air, clean water, food safety, public education, public health, Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security. They don't believe in it. That's why they have initiatives to privatize Social Security, to cut the Medicare guarantee, and also every day we're voting on things to restrict the enforcement of protecting our environment. Democrats believe we're all in this together. We believe in a thriving middle class and all who aspire to be part of the middle class. The Democratic agenda is about opportunity and fairness, the cornerstones of the American dream. But I honestly believe, my friends, that we can only have fairness in our economy, in our society, and people be able to achieve the American dream if we have fairness in our political system. And that means we must fight for a new politics free of special interest money. Our plan is clear. We need to disclose. I know there's an initiative in California to this effect. We need to disclose where is this secret, substantial, very substantial money coming from. When we win, we need to reform the system so we have clean campaigns. And when we do that, we, at the same time, must amend the Constitution to overturn the Citizens United decision by the Supreme Court. As we strive to reduce the role of money in campaigns, we must fight to remove obstacles to voter participation, to protect the rights of every citizen to vote and for every vote to be counted. And we have to fight these measures across the country. But at the same time, we have to organize and sign people up. If we reform the system, if we can ensure fair, free, and clean elections, you know what? We will be able to elect more women to public office. How many times have women said to you, I would run, but what the money, it's just too much of an obstacle. Well, we're saying no more of this incrementalism. Let's see if we can get 10 more this year and 6 more this year. Let's just change the system, make our own environment for what it will do to have more women run for office, more minorities run for office so that our elected officials reflect the beauty of our diversity in our society. That is our strength. So this campaign finance reform is directly related to greater participation. And this isn't about fighting for 99% versus 1%. This is about the 100% of the American people. This is about the core values of our democracy. The American people are very wise. They know that we have to do. 72% of them want us to, most all of them want us to pass a payroll tax cut. But 72% of them say, use the surcharge to pay for it if you have to pay for it. So what is the disconnect between the Republicans in Congress and the wishes of the American people on something so fundamental as a payroll tax cut, which everybody needs, but which will also inject demand into the economy as people get more money, spend it, inject demand, create jobs? American people understand that. There's something missing in the Republican agenda, and we intend to point that out to the American people to make the contrast. In order to do that, though, we need all work together to make sure that our elections are determined by the participation of the American people and not the bankroll of the privileged few. California, in last year's elections, because of your hard work, John Burton's leadership, and the assembled leadership of the party here, Democrats were victorious, as I mentioned at my beginning, across the state. California Democrats, it's time to lead the way once again. It's time to send a clear message across our state and to the rest of the country that California stands with the Democrats. We are the party of Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, and health care as a right, not a privilege, as a right for all Americans. We are the party of jobs, and we know an assault on workers is an assault on our middle class, our economy, and our fundamental values as Americans. That's why we must fight this year's direct assault on organized labor that's traveled to the California ballot from Wisconsin, Ohio, and Indiana. That is an essential fight for us and for working families. We are the party of our veterans, providing jobs, education, and the opportunity for when the men and women come home, building a future worthy of the sacrifice of our men and women. And aren't we glad that they're coming home? They came home from Iraq, and they're on schedule to come home from Afghanistan. We are the part of equality, opportunity, and fairness for all. We can't say it enough times. We're the party of a new politics, free of special interest. We are the party committed to reigniting the American dream, and we have work to do. Working together, we will win back the House of Representatives for the American people. We will re-elect Senator Dianne Feinstein as senator. And we will re-elect President Barack Obama and Vice President Joe Biden. And when we do, it will because California Democrats have led the way. California Democrats, are you ready for a great Democratic victory? I thought so. Thank you, California Democrats. Onward to victory.
You simply